What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, is Jace. What's up, little brother?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Better than your mustache.
Jeff.
Hey, Chief, you said you weren't going to do it, so I had to take
Okay, yeah, I didn't want no trouble. The beating you'll receive is probably much less than the one I would have. Blood gets beat a little lighter.
You'd have to catch me first.
What up, Chief? I can catch you pretty easy now. So.
How you doing, Chief?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm out here just trying to join the podcast, man, and get that bonding with my fellow podcasters and our crew out there.
No doubt. Let's say what's up to the fellas here. 80s Kid says I have so many nominees for Dummy of the Week. Hey, what's up, Jeff Jason, the Chief? No question marks needed. We are here. Afton Child is here as well, and so is Snake Eyes. Hey, everyone. What's going on? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened over the course of this week. Blake Tarpley says, Jeff and Jason, wait, who's this other guy?
You missed one episode, boy.
Tough crowd.
It really is. Blizzy. Well, what's up, Blizzy? Oh, man.
Chamberlain is here as well.
What up, Paul?
So, yeah. All right, well, I have a lot of things going on, but I needed to tell you guys this amazing story. So, one of my longtime friends from Howard was in town this weekend. She randomly called me up and said, hey, I'm in town for a wedding, and I'm here with one of your biggest fans. And I was like, okay, what's that about? And she was like, yeah, so we're here in the area. Are you able to come meet up with us? So I said, sure. So she was talking about inviting one of her friends from Howard to meet up with them since they happen to be in Maryland. And she said, yeah, one of my friends from Howard. Her friend, no lie, said, Jeffrey Lyles from Lyles Movie Files? No joke. And apparently I was rocking my Howard shirt the other day. And so I was hearing, him relay this information back to her. He was like, yeah, he was supposed to do the Empire Strikes Back watch along. I was like, oh, yeah, he is watching. And because I totally faked on that because I started watching 11:15. So, yeah. So it was cool to actually meet up with him. And here's a shot so you all can see somebody's actually watching the show, fellas. This is Mark. And Mark got married this weekend to the very lovely Cheryl. And so just wanted to give a shout out to them. Thank you for watching. But yeah.
Congratulations, Mark.
Oh, Mark. Really cool story.
Congratulations. He's never in the chats, though, is he?
Who can say?
Okay.
We don't know real names. We just enjoy it,
That is true. Everybody's enjoying their anonymity.
I think Blake and Jamelin are rocking their official names.
Nah, Blizzy. You know what I mean? Blizzy and Park.
All smoke screen.
You know what I mean? All to get you comfortable. You know what I mean?
Lure you in.
Mm-hmm. You know
so I mean? it was a wild week. Got the random news on Saturday that Matthew Perry died, and it was a real shock because we kind of have gone a while without somebody celebrity status wise that I was like, oh man, that one hurt. I kind of feel like the last one might have been Chadwick Boseman. I feel like others have been like, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, that happens. But this one was like, oh man, I felt like he had been doing all of his stuff. He'd been getting his life together, and then just to be taken out at 54 is wild, especially since he was really on that whole I got to help other people avoid the same challenges in life that I did. So really sad news. And then today we heard Bobby Knight, aka the chair thrower himself, is gone. I think he died at 83.
Yeah, looked like 83.
R.I.P. indeed, Snake Eyes. And Jalen says, listen, 100, real name, no gimmicks. No gimmicks needed.
Trice.
Yeah, my birth name is Blizzy for Shizzy.
Blizzy,
you knew it.
We knew it. Yeah. So, as a fellow Friends fan, Jace, what you think about this news with Matthew Perry?
I mean, I was upset. You know, it's like because I watch. If you ask me to quote most episodes of Friends, I could pretty much give you a good 90% translation.
I knew it.
Pivot. You know, like you can just like get random jokes, and I'll laugh at it. And like somebody just was like showing like places they were in London. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like it's like it sucks, like especially when somebody's trying to get their life together. I mean, or actually has got their life together, and it's like, hey, like it's like I got to see. I mean, got to see the Friends reunion, which I'm glad he did. And then it wasn't just we. You know, everybody would have been sad if he wasn't there, but that was good that was done before this happened. So it sucks to see somebody funny, doesn't seem like he was a bad person, go by.
He seemed like a good guy.
Yeah.
80 says, I'm definitely the Chandler in my group. And Jamelin says, Blake is using his real name. It's just pronounced Bolé Topnat.
Balaki. Yeah, that's my man. He's like, Ron.
And you know what it means? I'm going to have to watch Fools Rush In real soon because I love that movie. It's one of my favorite rom-coms. And he was talking about his movies, and he said that was one of his favorite things that he's done. And I was like, yes, that movie was great.
Summer Hayek. Why wouldn't you? Isn't that the one?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but it's like if you were trying to give somebody a perfect example of a rom-comedy, it's like right here. Like that, it's got the jokes, the romance. You're not missing it. You're not missing the part of that.
Nah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it didn't even have to drop off the most rom-com. It's like the end when it's kind of wrapping up. It's like okay, this is going to be like 50 minutes of the movie. It's like 10 minutes, and then we get to where we need to go.
There's signs everywhere, bro. What's up, Ryan Daly? In the building.
What's going on, Ryan?
All right, now let's get into this latest train wreck. There's no need to build this up any longer. I really, 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 really wish that somebody over at Marvel Studios would try to figure out something. But before I get there, I had to share this story. HBO doesn't dispute using fake Twitter accounts to undermine TV critics. So apparently, the network's president of original programming had commanded a quote-unquote secret army to push back against TV critics posting tepid reviews of HBO titles. In a statement, the company did not challenge claims that Bloys and other executive directors directed executive assistant to post from fake accounts with the aim of undermining high-profile critics as well as anonymous commentators on articles.
The funny thing is, I don't think it's the wrong thing to do. It's like if somebody's completely trashing your thing, it's like, hey, we actually believe this, but I can't say that as a studio head that I really believe in this product. I want somebody like, hey, no, it's good. Like, I don't want you to listen to top critic that has a beef with me because I wouldn't fly him out to see the next Aquaman movie. Like, I'll push back on that guy. Like, I would. I mean, it's like, hey, this is a good property. Give it a chance. And this bozo who's never seen the outside of his basement, yeah, I'm gonna push back on him too.
You successfully gotten Blake's name changed there, Chief. Ryan says talking about
you can't choose your nickname. You have to be given it.
Ryan says talking about Matthew Perry, it might be time to revisit Studio 60. That showed amazing individual scenes, but the series itself just didn't click. Yeah, I think that was a pretty underrated show. You want to say something on that?
I actually watched it and they never mentioned that, like when they were doing like all the credits of his stuff. I'm like, Studio 60, I liked that show. It was one of those, y'all couldn't have pulled this back another season. So I actually disagree with that one. I think it was a good one. Like, they probably could have given another season, give it some legs. I think it would have worked.
So where does he rank? Not that we need to do it necessarily, but let's have a discussion. Of the Friends, who had the most prolific post-Friends career? Would it be Courtney Cox with Cougar Town / Scream? Jennifer Aniston with a bunch of roles? I don't know if anything kind of really stands out like, oh man, this is it. Is it maybe
Horrible
that Good
Bosses.
Morning Apple Plus show she's doing?
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses, those two.
Yeah.
I
So-
think you got to go Aniston, Courtney. Then you got to go Perry. Then you got to go Ross. And then you got to go Joey. And then, Ross. Then, what's the old girl? Smelly Cat girl.
Wait a second. Wait.
See, he's putting up the thumbs up. See,
He's giving himself his thumbs up.
What happened? What'd I do? What did I do? What did I do?
This is what happens when you don't watch the episode you're not on.
And then Joey probably last.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at the things that you watch, Chief. I just foolishly assume that you did not watch Friends, but breaking out Smelly Cat once again proves that I know nothing.
Oh,
just like Jon Snow.
You guys, you're always teasing me.
The last 4 years since Key Peele's substitute teacher skit, my name has been Baleke from Friends and Fam.
I figured that, but I wasn't going to give you that, man. I was giving you something cooler, something more urban.
80 Skin says Phoebe. Okay.
Yep. Smelly Cat.
You think
Ryan says Aniston was huge until the split with Brad Pitt. I don't think she recovered from that. That's a really interesting point because it was weird because she wasn't in the wrong in that. And yeah, it does kind of feel like her star somewhat faded. And I don't know why.
Well, when you get broken up with instead of doing the breaking up, I think you take an L in Hollywood. You gotta be the one to drop them. I mean, Brad Pitt, that was a huge loss for her in terms of even other women saw it that way, and I think that's what drove that narrative. Like, you lost Brad Pitt, guys, we're like, well, we don't care. Women like, you lost Brad, so and it was it was young Brad too. It wasn't the Brad we see now, it wasn't old Brad. Because look, unlike Tom Cruise, Brad is aged.
Tom is aged now.
now Tom isn't the boyish good looks.
Yeah, but listen. Tom got that juice. He's got that fountain, that Ponce de Leon. You know what I mean? Like look, when I'm with you,
on tap, huh?
He's in the 60s, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, I'll take that look for my 60s. The way I look right now, if I can carry this look into my 60s, yeah, that'll be great for me. That's 12 more years. Yeah, if I look like this in 12 more years, Chief. Yeah,
61.
Yeah, pull up another 60-year-old and see how they look.
Blake says Alpha Widow syndrome. She can never do better than Brad Pitt.
That's what I'm saying. Women make that call. Women make that call.
Said if you've never seen Wanderlust with Jennifer Aniston and Paul Rudd, punch yourself in the face.
The funny thing is, Jennifer Aniston did a lot of good movie. I mean, like, she was just never
waiting.
It was very much like we were expecting Jennifer Aniston to be like, I'm done with Friends. I'm had his breakout role. I mean, I had these all these rom-coms, get some dramatic roles. I'm just waiting until Friends wraps up. And when that didn't happen, it was like, how did that not happen?
Snake Eyes, I've never finished Friends, and I don't want to finish because it's too many episodes. You can save yourself the trouble and stop at season 8 and then go to the final 2 episodes of the final season.
No. The final season was funny, but you can easily jump 8 and 9 with no problem.
I thought 8 was when Brad Pitt showed up.
That's one episode. That might be one episode that was funny, but season 9, let it go.
All right. Ryan says, I enjoy Studio 60, but it's hard to justify a drama about a comedy show that came out the same year as 30 Rock. Had great writing and acting, but I think it was conceptually flawed.
Okay. So because 30 Rock was much more the sketch, the comedy version of that versus the Matthew Perry kind of, I know the guy from West Wing. He was also in it.
Bradley Whitford.
Yeah. And it was much more the dramatic side of it. So that makes sense. That's a good interpretation.
You don't need to take it to the max anymore because the DC extended universe is coming to Netflix, which is wild. So, Chief, you can see Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 1984, The Suicide Squad. Yeah.
It's coming to Netflix, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I figure like this: if you don't own what you don't own by now, then you never wanted to see those movies. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, Man of Steel is 10 years old at this point. If you don't have it on DVD or on your Prime list, and you got to go to Netflix to watch it, that's pretty sad at this point. And all of y'all should punch yourselves in the face for that, especially you, Parks, because my cheek hurts now. So yeah, that's not exciting, man. They had to do something. DC had to do something though. After that DC flop with their app. So
yeah, like
I remember we all got it. We was all in this joint like, it's gonna be some content. I used to go through the comic books and read, trying to catch up with the comics. And next thing I know, man, that joint just started getting skinnier and skinnier. What's that? Stephen King thinner. That you know what I mean? I feel like I ate the DC joint was eating the pie, you know. So and then it just, you know, it just disappeared. It was, you know. So now Netflix is gonna take it over. But to be honest, what movies do you want to see? I mean, if you was just gonna go and see say you wanted to sit around one day, you're not gonna watch 84. You know what I mean? I enjoyed Man of Steel. Many people didn't, but then you know, Man of Steel doesn't come with a sequel. It's just DC, you know what I mean? So you know, whatever. Not for me.
I was to say they just recently released most of the DC extended universe. They just put that on Prime maybe in the last 60 days. So they're probably trying to make up the revenue that they aren't getting from movies, and their expected revenue from the DC movies, which James Gunn and Peter Safran should be held a little bit accountable for.
So we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping it actually helps out some of these other streamers, because it's like, hey, again, go back to the licensing model that we used to use before. Like, instead of everybody having this, oh, we got this one thing and you must come here. It's no, go to your favorite streamer. We're getting money off it. We're okay. And if some streamer, say Max, happens to go away, I can still watch all this content I want on Netflix or Hulu. Or actually, not Hulu, because the daggone ads suck.
Buy Blu-rays. Snake Eye says Man of Steel deserves a sequel. True.
And Parks know he watched 84 more than once.
Oh gosh.
You know you watched that joint. Like, you sat down and ate popcorn and watched that joint for a month straight every weekend. Come on, man.
I mean,
run it back.
Has anybody? I mean, anybody?
No. We're not going to get into another bash and the terribleness.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying now. That's one I have now watched twice.
No, gosh, no.
No.
Once was enough. All right, let's get into the main piece because it's a lot to break down. So, Variety wrote an article today titled "Crisis at Marvel." And it breaks down some pretty challenging situations for Marvel. Apparently, every September, Marvel creatives, including Kevin Feige, do an annual retreat. And normally it's all, woohoo, we rock Marvel Studios, baby. This time it wasn't so much high fives, pat each other on the back. It was, what in the world are we going to do? The Jonathan Majors headlines have not gone away. He's about to go to trial in New York later on for those domestic violence charges. He keeps saying, it's not me, just like Shaggy. I'm the victim. But Marvel Studios is trying to figure out what the heck they need to do. Are we going to keep him and let this trial play out and risk the embarrassment of him going to jail? Or do we recast
He's not going to jail.
Cut our bait with him?
Well, no, it's a misdemeanor, but it's they
going to jail for?
It's domestic violence.
I thought he got cleared.
No, if you look on, there's a lot of disinformation. I got sucked into. I'm like, oh, this thing is gonna be dropped, and the prosecutors are like, no, what you're seeing, Mike, is not the full story, and it's very messy. And Marvel probably is like, should we have dropped him earlier? Like after we did King, should we recast him now? I'm sure that was probably first things. Like,
No, the problem was they had already shot Loki by that point.
well, I mean,
we're
but
committed.
Well, yeah, I was like, I mean, maybe there's a lot of way. Like they're probably like, okay, we got to figure out what we're doing now. Like once Loki is done, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Like,
so now their concern is, all right, if we switch Kang out as the main bad guy, what about making Doctor Doom the new main villain?
Then that means Fantastic Four has to be pushed up, which should happen. I mean, and it has nothing to do with against on until facts. This, I mean, the Jonathan Major stuff is very tricky. I don't understand. It's like, and it's until all the facts come out, I'm not making a true opinion on it. But when it comes to Marvel Studios, their perspective is we have two properties we need to get out that we paid basically $1 billion for these properties. We need to get them out. Like all the original plans of Kang Dynasty that get you to Secret Wars, maybe that's not the way to go. Maybe we need to refocus and think big thing needs to be a big movie that has the X-Men Fantastic Four. That needs to be our next focus. Whatever we're doing, that plan, our original plan is wrong. Like, because we botched the multiverse that should have made this next phase really seamless. So we have to call a mulligan and probably going to have to start from scratch on this. You're looking real skeptical. So what you got?
I just hate every time you say Fantastic Four. I just got this taste in my mouth. You know what I mean? Oh God, like why? And I don't see why Marvel can't ignore it like DC ignored Ezra Miller. Is it Miller, Ezra? I mean, that dude was getting in trouble every week. It was like for a whole 52 weeks in a row, my man was in the news for something different. And until you find out, you know, whether this thing is what it is, then you gotta roll with them. I just, you know,
again, yeah, everybody in the chat is saying what I saw all the videos, and they're like, and they have videos that circulated online. I don't know how it all circulated, but until we see the case, I do not think anybody should really make a determination, let the evidence play out. Because I think if I thought, he's going to be totally exonerated, and it's like, nah, we got more. It's like, or we got different. It's like, it's not looking good for him. I mean, I hope you know, nobody should have to deal with that in a relationship, but we hope it's like either side, whoever was done wrong to, gets vindicated.
Man, my man, I love that. You're so PC with it. Whatever happened, I mean, whatever side wants to do the thing that didn't do, and I mean both sides, like they could be right or they could be right, or you at home, you could be right. Let me say the right things here. I get it. Hey, listen. My man was straddling that joint. He was yeah.
Hey, I've watched enough of those videos. I thought I was on one path, and I'm like, and then I started reading actual news outlets. I'm like,
okay. Let's not keep going down that part of the rabbit hole.
So, what's your opinion?
Loki, it's not even necessary. Loki's season finale drops on next week, November 9th, and apparently a top deal maker, of course, it was anonymous, said Marvel is truly effed with the whole Kang angle. And they haven't had an opportunity to rewrite until very recently because of the strike. But I don't see a path to how they move forward with him. So I don't think they have that big a problem. The whole thing at the end of Quantumania, spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, was there's all kinds of Kangs floating around. And it's possible some of them don't look like Jonathan Majors. Just replace him, throw in somebody else. They don't need a headache for PR. They'd be fine just going, hey, let's just do this. They're all good. So as long as they just say, we don't need Jonathan Majors, even though he was by far to me the best part of Quantum Mania, I bet they could find somebody else to do really well in that role. Afterchild says, ain't going to save them if they did add Dr. Doom being the main villain in the multiverse saga. But that doesn't mean I don't like Dr. Doom. He's one of my favorite villains, but it ain't going to work. Yeah, I could see them throwing in Dr. Doom this late in this well-formed, well-cultivated multiverse saga that has seen Kang's fingerprints. Wait, that's not true. They've done very little with Kang.
No.
Yeah, I think the multiverse is a terrible idea in terms of where to go next, especially since the end of the whole Thanos quest in Infinity Saga took them to multiple realities and different timelines. They didn't need to keep going further with it because it get confusing.
Oh, couldn't you just in that scenario, it's like use whatever you have for Loki, whatever Loki is, but then at the end, Dr. Doom gets one over on Kang. And then you go from whatever you had, it's now Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom has switched the switch. He's used some magic. He's taken over.
They can just do Kang. They don't have to take Kang off the board because of an actor. Just replace Kang.
Recasting is the way to go.
Is still going?
His season finale is next week.
Are y'all still enjoying it, or?
I've caught up because they sent us the first 4 episodes, so it's only 2. So I have this week's, which is the first new one to me in a month, and next week. So from what I watched, I really enjoyed it. Definitely more than most of these other Disney Plus Marvel shows. I felt like they've actually been committed to the multiverse saga, and it's been good as a result of playing in the lane of what they're trying to do. I feel like their problem has been they've been so loosey-goosey with this phase where I don't see where it's connected. That was a catchphrase back in the day. It's all connected. Nothing feels really connected right now with the MCU, and that's why it suffered. And yeah, exactly. Jamelin, somebody call Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I don't think we'll be seeing more Black Manta for a while after this next movie. And he was supposed to be Wonder Man anyway, so just switch him up. Nobody's seen Wonder Man. Just make him King. You can do that just fine.
It was supposed to be a Wonder Man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yo, Ryan, that would be awesome. Get Terrence Howard to play King.
That would work.
Now I got my revenge, baby.
Yeah, like if you have, it's like one of those scenarios. We have an actor. Well, like I think that's the easier transition because I think you mentioned when we were talking about like Wonder Man probably needed to be introduced when Tony Stark was there. Like not having him is going to take a whole lot of effort to try and retcon all that salad of Wonder Man and then make it into a TV show. So maybe go and switch the actor, headache done.
Wonder Man really should have been introduced a while ago so he could be going against in some form or fashion Tony Stark to make him turn heel and then become a good guy and join the Avengers. I don't really know how they're going to work him in now, but I also feel like I don't know if he's a character they need to make diverse. I think he kind of makes more sense on his comic book interpretation. Just because they could do more things with his character as oh man, I'm an arms dealer who got bought out by Tony Stark. He made me look bad. Now I want my revenge because you could play up on things. And I just think he would work better as that. And I think Wonder Man is more of he's like a powerful character, but he can also be kind of played as like a narcissist. And I don't know if I want Yaya to play that kind of character. Ooh, here's a good choice too. Okay. I really like Aldous Hodge from One Night in Miami, and I think he played Hawkman and Black Adam. He did, but I would rather him play a recast Luke Cage than Kang.
Ooh, man, that's a lot of interest in there.
Sweet Christmas, that sounds fun. Blake, I'm not gonna put what you said in there just because it could be a spoiler, so I'm not gonna post it on here. But let's talk about the Marvels, which is coming out very soon. Marvel is grappling with the November release of The Marvels, a sequel to 2019's blockbuster Captain Marvel that has been plagued with lengthy reshoots and now appears likely to underwhelm at the box office. Now, I think there are lots of reasons for that. I think people just don't like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel. Bro, can you pull up what you sent me the other day? Because I think that says a lot about the issue.
Let's see. We got Jeff.
While you do that, I'm going to break down these numbers. The Marvels, which is opening on November 10th, will struggle to get past its budget of $250 million. It's tracking to open between 75 to 80 million, far below the 185 million Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness took in domestically in its debut weekend last year. I think with this one, the numbers are maybe higher. We've seen that a lot of the time lately with these presumed blockbusters coming under the initial projections. We saw that even with Mission Impossible. So I think this one, which kind of seems to have a little ill will for whatever reason, I think Brie Larson was fine as Captain Marvel, regardless of whatever goes on off screen. And I really don't see anything that's like, oh my gosh, she's the worst person ever, especially when we can push Ezra Miller's The Flash. I mean, there's no comparison in that sense, but she's not a terrible, awful person. I think people just hate on her for no reason. So go ahead, Jace. I think you've got it queued up now.
Yeah. Okay. So what was this? From Movies and Delight. Okay. So they were asking why we barely saw Captain Marvel in Endgame. And the reason they claim is because Joe and Anthony Russo came to the conclusion she was too overpowered. She was actually stronger based on how she was interpreted in Captain Marvel. She was stronger than Thanos most of the time. So they kind of, to get around just basically having Captain Marvel as a cheat code, they just shipped her off and acted like she was protecting other worlds instead of actually helping the Avengers, because she really is almost an Avengers in one scene only. So they're kind of, and like listening to it, you're like, well, that's probably what some of this is everybody thinks she's so much better than all of our heroes combined, which plays out in Secret Wars, basically like, if you have Carol Danvers powers, why do you need all the rest of these guys?
Secret Invasion.
Garbage I won't watch anymore. So it's like, oh, that's a very potential viable reason. And then maybe that backlash is getting back on Brie Larson because they made a character that's so much better than all other characters. And I don't think it's just the fanboys that we talk about. I think there is probably a legitimate thing. It's like, yeah, she was overpowered. Like, she's not this. She's a great character. I mean, I think if you watch, anybody watch his Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Hero, she's a very good character.
And you know what else she's a really good character in? Kurt Busiek and George Perez's Avengers run. She's absolutely, I'm rereading that now, and she's the complete opposite of an overpowered, unlikable character. And she has traits that would play out really well. Even back in late 98, she's like, oh gosh, forgive me if I need to rely on a man to tell me what to do. But he doesn't write her obnoxious. She's dealing with alcoholism, which makes her character so fascinating. She didn't have the same supercharged up mega powers as she did. She's hiding it from everybody, and she's really defensive about it. It is so great because he lets her be vulnerable, and she becomes such a better character as a result. And like 80s Kid says, MCU Captain Marvel's too boring of a character.
Like, but here's the thing: like, the original Marvel characters were always better because they had a built-in. Almost all of them have a built-in flaw, so you could relate to them. Like, Carol Danvers in MCU right now is basically Hal Jordan's bravado justified, but she has no weakness. It's really like, okay, so who could beat her in a fight? Thanos, when he has what? One doesn't have all the, no, he has the whole Infinity Gauntlet on, and he has to do a cheat move to beat her. It's like, wait a minute, like that's not cool. Like, so hopefully,
headbutt.
as I said, I joked. I'm like, maybe they can, if you wanted to do something with her, to help build her as a character, you introduce Rogue to take off half of that power, and then make her. And in that third movie of Captain Marvel is how to deal and cope with. I'm not this superpower can go all across the universe power level, but I'm now Carol Danvers, Miss Captain Marvel, that has a whole lot of new limitations. And then how do I work in the new Marvel universe that way?
Chief, excuse me. One thing I did not like with Carol Danvers showing up in Endgame, excuse me, was the fact that in Infinity War we finally saw Thor be Thor. Like he was getting it. He was really the cavalry coming through, bring me Thanos, like chills through you in that moment. And it felt really well earned. I mean, we've seen him do some really impressive stuff, like the first Avengers, just shooting down the Chitauri, but they kept him away so he wasn't overpowering everything. In Infinity War, he finally had a challenge that was worthy all of him going all out. And then it was like, yeah, well, actually, Captain Marvel's right on the same level as him. And I don't like to do the tiers of characters, but Thor is okay to be the most powerful Avenger there is. Captain Marvel had one movie under her belt before, yeah, she's at Thor level. It's like, guys, come on. That's not the right way to go. And the Russos are like, yeah, just put her to the back burner. What did you think about her?
I like the movie, to be honest with you. I know that people who delve heavily into these situations and they get into these forums and chats and they study the characters and so on and so forth. I thought that movie fit her well. Now you could have, like, I mean, she wasn't even really in Endgame, but for what, the last couple minutes of the fight, I mean, she didn't really do.
Yeah,
I mean, I
she
didn't
shows up in the
think
beginning to help find Tony, and then she comes through the last minute, which is so funny because, like, where have you been?
But she didn't do anything.
No, but remember, she comes basically, she turns the tide. It's like she takes out.
He's not Optimus Prime. Hold on there.
I use that for.
I mean, she turned the tide. Was everybody coming out though?
No, she destroys like one of the ships. Like they're doing okay, and then Carol bangs through at least like one of Thanos' ship. She really is the most powerful character. It's like
I didn't think that turned the tide. And then even when she stole, like, it seemed like she was, her and Thanos, but I mean, we're kind of on the same level in a sense. Like, I mean, they didn't really, it was just they traded a couple punches or a punch or two. And then they had the scene where all the women banded. Next thing was all the women banding up or whatever. I don't.
Okay, this is something I'm just trying to remember. Like, her power is based on the Tesseract. It's one Infinity Stone, and it's like that should have been like, hey, this is one aspect. Thanos has all 5 of these. It is not a comparative. Was he wearing
it at the time?
Huh?
It was off of him though. This
no,
man didn't have it at the time. He came to claim it.
He's like stopping him from actually pulling the snap again. Like he has to take the power stone off and then put it back on. Like he doesn't have I don't think he has the yeah, she's the one who stops him from being able to actually do the snap again.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was that egregious of a no for me.
But okay, you liked her. You liked her? I liked her movie, but did you think she was overpowered? Or she was just the coolest because she was overpowered?
I didn't, and I mean, during the fight scene, I guess I didn't really pay attention to how strong. I mean, there was so much going on. I guess if you know what I mean. I mean, if she wasn't there, we'd have snapped his fingers, and it would have been over anyway. So she stopped him. They fought. I mean, it was a whole bunch of stuff going on. I didn't feel like the focus was on her exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
you said exactly what the Russos wanted you to think. They realized they couldn't have her at the start of that fight, so she had to come in the end, destroying a ship in the distance is fine because yeah, she's really powerful. She can take out a ship. And then she goes toe to toe with Thanos, like Thor, like Iron Man, like Cap do, but she's not beating him like any of them one on one. And and you're saying exactly what I think they were trying to do, not make her such the overwhelming hero that she alone can stop Thanos. Thanos actually beats her, does little headbutts. No, she headbutted him. Anyway,
No,
he
he
gets
had
rid of her.
just kind of no sells it.
Yeah. So I think you guys are both right. But I think, Chief, you understood kind of more of what they wanted to do and not make her the center of the fight. So she could be powerful, have a few good moments like every big hero, like every hero in
Everyone
Endgame
did.
in that final fight without being, as I feel like, you look at it, Scarlet Witch has just as many cool moments as
And
Captain
I
Marvel.
thought Captain America had the best moment.
Oh, I mean, he's got
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying he started off the fight.
Yeah.
Avengers Assemble, right? That was him, and then he fought Thanos one-on-one for a while. They went at it. So I hear everything you guys are saying. I just, like I said, there was a lot going. Like, everybody had to do something in that fight.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's saying, he's like, it's because everybody has a moment to shine. If you were to watch Captain Marvel, you'd be like, why is this a question? She should be whipping the heck out of him.
But I think if they had done another Captain Marvel movie, not this one that they're coming up with, but where they have to switch her to probably power her down, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that if she had fought somebody on like a Galactus level, maybe you remember Gladiator, from, you know what I mean? Maybe she fought a Gladiator. His powers were incredible too. I mean, once his powers were based on his confidence, as long as he was confident, he was basically unstoppable. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, hell, the Juggernaut stepped to him and he just threw the Juggernaut like he was a baby. So there's just different. You had to get her with somebody who was above her level, and there's plenty of characters in the Marvel universe who are above there, or you could have got her to a character who was smarter than her and weakened her.
Okay, like, because this is an interesting thing, like looking at some of these power scales on Marvel characters. I think after a point you do hit this. Like, I've been watching like videos on X-Men. There used to be one basic Omega level hero, and that was Jean Grey. And now everybody, it's like a kitchen sink of, let's give her superpowers. Let's give her, I mean, and this isn't just, based on sex. Like, let's give him super hearing. Let's give him telekinetic. Let's give him super telekinetic purple, whatever. And it's just like, they just throw all the kitchen sink and it's like, it's okay not to have every power. It's like, it's actually cool. Like,
yeah, it makes it a lot more interesting. All right, I got to get into some of these comments because they're great. All right, let's see. Afton Child says, what is a fanboy? I don't really know what that means. Chief, what's a fanboy?
Basically, an overzealous fan. I that's what it sounds like to me. Somebody who's just totally focused on whatever that genre is, whether you Game of Thrones guy, you know everything about Game of Thrones, or you're a Marvel guy, you know everything about Marvel, or DC guy, you know everything about Marvel. Just a guy who goes hard in that specific genre, and you throw out something, he knows it. The Hulk. Oh, his birthday was August 13th, 1968.
Do you know what hospital he was born in?
Yes, I do. It was St. Agnes. He was born at 8:15 in the morning. He was 6 pounds 6 ounces. He took his first breath when he looked to the left, and then he was born Dr. Bruce Banner. Not Doctor yet though, but he was just regular Bruce Banner, Bruce Anthony Banner. And so fanboy, Star Wars fanboys. They're just,
and they take it way too hard. I mean, it's not
into
just
that genre way too hard.
Yeah,
that's all the fanboy is. So,
and can be a bit obnoxious with their.
Yeah, well, everybody's kind of a jerk when it comes to their favorite things. What are you gonna do? I'm an expert on ice cream. What are you gonna do? Don't tell me nothing about no Haagen-Dazs.
Do you know what kind of beans they use in this flavor?
I do.
Stickman says,
Mountains of
I
Guatemala
thought,
where they pick those beans.
Stickman goes, I thought Monica Rambeau was the only good Captain Marvel. True. Any I've ever seen read have been a bore. 86 says, what Secret Invasion show? The only Secret Invasion content I've seen from a show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And Jalen has something really interesting. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You put out Black Widow in February 2019, take Carol Danvers out of Endgame, and then start Phase 4 of Captain Marvel. You solve all of this. Yeah, you know what? Because at the end of Infinity War, it was kind of like, who's this? Why do we need her? And we really don't need her as the movie plays out. So I think you really are right with that.
I mean, that's a cool way to do it, because it's like it's the real wrap up of the whole Avengers team and going and really getting you to the next phase. You know, instead of having these kind of bridge characters that are now have all been replaced now at this point.
So Ryan says, I think the Captain Marvel writers overcompensated for not wanting their first starring female hero appearing too emotional, even when she had a very emotional arc. That's true. Instead, Carol came across as so stoic and aloof, she was boring. Brie Larson is actually charming and funny as heck, but they didn't let her play that. The result was her first boring Marvel hero. And I think you're right, because in her half a second role in Fast X, I was like, yeah, do this. And she's been great in other stuff, but she was a little too cool and too something. She lacked a certain sense of wonder and, oh man, I'm learning her. Oh, I'm so excited. There's just nothing to her on that.
Y'all didn't like her scenes with Samuel L. Jackson? Like, I thought those were the best moments. Like when they were playing their buddy cop version.
Not so much when she's in hero mode.
Like when she's in the diner, blast, like, hey,
Oh yeah.
Like I thought that was, I think she's there. That's one of those. We did it that way. We can learn from it. Hopefully, we do that in the Marvels. It sounds like, because I can't really say I trust anything about these new, like, hey, everybody's crapping on Marvel, so your estimates are probably right to be down. They're like, oh, we think the superhero movies are down, so we can always crap on them now. But I think more people are going to be interested. Like, hey, I enjoyed Captain Marvel 1. I'll go see this new one.
James says, and people would have cared more about Black Widow, a pretty decent movie if it came out while their characters more relevant. Yeah, because I'm watching them like, you guys should have done this earlier. I would have happily watched the trilogy of Black Widow films, and maybe this one could have been the culmination where, oh, we got new characters to introduce. Great, because I felt like after her appearance in Iron Man 2, it was like, cool, let's do more. A Marvel spy hero, and you just never got that.
But did you like the ending? It's like, hey, Black Widow is just one of 9 billion Black Widows.
And then, for me, once they kill the character, it's hard for me to watch the movie behind it after that. Hence Rogue One and the, what's that movie you keep trying to get to watch? The dude from Rogue One.
Andor?
Yeah, Andor. You keep trying to get me to watch. Hey, watch Andor.
You should watch it. It's good.
He dies in Rogue One.
Just move it like, you got Blu-rays and Apple. Like, we can just, you just move it more into your collection, watch it where it should be versus when they released it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good, Chief. All right, so Nia DaCosta is directing the Marvels, but ironically, it may be a situation sort of like Rogue One. But DaCosta started working on another film while the Marvels was still in post-production. She moved to London earlier this year to begin prepping for a Tessa Thompson drama. DaCosta declined a comment for the Variety article. And so the source familiar with the production, if you're directing a $250 million movie, it's kind of weird for the director to leave with a few months to go. The Marvels has seen its release date moved back twice to swap places with Quantumania, which was deemed further along. So that's interesting because we were all going, Quantumania seems really early in this thing. So Marvel decided to do a test screening back in June. They normally have these early screenings for Disney employees and their friends and families. They did a public test screening in Texas. The audience gave the film middling reviews. So Kevin Feige decided, I need to work extra harder to get this movie up to speed, but it's still not looking great, and people are not really excited and happy about this. What do you think about that? The director is moving on to do something else while the film is still being made. Maybe someone else came and ghost directed the rest of it.
Oh, it probably was one of those things that you're fighting with the studio so much you're like, okay, I'm out. Here's a movie. I'm out. Like, yeah, it's done. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Chief, what do you think?
I don't know. Maybe she. I mean, is she out? Or, I mean, are they saying she's out, or they just so behind in production that they're like, listen, it's going to take us with everything that's going on. It's going to take us another year to get the script together and go do whatever. And so she's like, all right, I'm gonna go do whatever. I'm gonna go work on a project that's ready. So, I mean, is she coming back? I don't know. If she comes back, that's probably what happened. The project wasn't ready for the director portion. The actors, they're out anyway. I mean, you can't direct when there's no one to direct. The replacements,
I'm just kind of wondering what's going to happen.
I've been watching those little 30-second blips for Tubi, and I'll be seeing the actors that are on Tubi, and they always remind me of the replacement actors. Man, they have me crying. I'm like, this is so bad. So they probably hey, go on out of here. We're not doing nothing right now. And she went on to another project, which was feasible.
So the move, and Jace is going to love this part. The move of Quantumania up meant they had to rush through with some shoddy CGI, most notably with MODOK. So they had to rush it through. They had the VFX workers going 14-hour days. And in September, they decided we're going to unionize. And a former Marvel Studios assistant coordinator for VFX said the year 2023 was the straw that broke the camel's back. The pay and long hours at Marvel were the reason we had to start our unionization process there. The conditions were completely unsustainable. So after Quantumania failed to destroy the box office, Victoria Alonso, the studio's physical production head, post-production, VFX, and animation, was let go. And the public reason was she was in an unauthorized role as executive producer on an Oscar-nominated film, Argentina, 1985, and Disney was incensed that quality control on its Marvel productions was plummeting while she was out promoting her film. But then the real problem came, as it was this Variety article says, she was just a scapegoat. And they point to the She-Hulk virtual effects as a symptom of deeper problems, namely a lack of oversight on script development.
That's a whole lot of scapegoating there. But I think another thing what was it? Wakanda Forever was done the same time as Quantumania. So it's like those trying to, like, there's a whole lot of visual effects you have to put into Wakanda Forever. And let's be honest, if I was on priority, I'd be like, I know I need Quantumania, but I cannot screw this one up. So you guys are over here. And we'll get to this Kang character, MODOK character that nobody's seen. We'll get to it. Except nobody did. Spy Kids had better special effects than MODOK. Let's not talk about.
Huh?
I love Spy Kids.
It had better special effects than Quantumania. Quantumania.
I didn't see Quantumania though.
It's like a joke. It's like half the people the actors are literally just looking up at the screen like nothing's going on, but I have to look like something's going on. Wow.
I think I was smarter than to waste my time to do that, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really did. With MODOK MODOK could be I'm going to once again go back a lot of times. Go back to Earth's Mightiest Hero. MODOK is.
I just watched the episode when he showed up.
when Wonder Man.
Yes, I just watched it last night.
And it's like, all right, bye everywhere. Peace out. It was so, like, that's a better version of MODOK versus I'm a killing machine. MODOK is not stupid. It's like, come on, guys. Y'all didn't need to do that.
Yeah, Chief, you did dodge a bullet there.
I knew I did. I already knew I did.
I mean, like, again, I have watched Quantumania a couple times. There is good in the movie. It is not Wonder Woman 84.
Sound like you're talking about Darth Vader.
There's good parts of that movie. It's just trying to get you to that next phase. You're like, well, I can see where you're going, but I can also see you guys real cheap on these special effects. So
I mean, we've already seen bad special effects from these cats on I won't say anything, She-Hulk. So it is what it is, man. I just knew in my heart that it was gonna be lame. And I was just like, yo, I'm tired of lame movies. If I wonder how many hours I've just wasted watching some old crud. And it's probably 36, 48 hours of my life that I've just wasted 2 days just sitting there watching some garbage when I could have been out just sitting on my back porch smoking a cigar with a good glass of whiskey. You know what I mean?
Little cognac.
The Cavassier.
There you go.
It's a lady.
Y'all are gonna love this because I had so many issues with She-Hulk, and apparently so did Marvel Studios. In the original arc of She-Hulk, a flashback of Jennifer's transformation into her Hulk character didn't take place until episode 8, the penultimate episode. But after Marvel's Brain Trust watched footage, it realized the scene needed to happen in the pilot episode so that audiences could see more of the character's backstory early. That meant the VFX team was tasked with fixing the mess in post-production. The so-called bad effects we see was because of half-baked scripts, says one person involved with She-Hulk. That is not Victoria, that is Kevin. And even above Kevin, those issues should be addressed in pre-production. The timeline is not allowing the Marvel executives to sit with the material. That's a pretty hard statement there because, we're watching this and it's like, this is terrible. What are you guys doing? And apparently they just weren't watching the show until the last minute. Like, oh, shoot. How can we fix this in the end? When She-Hulk, for sure, was a property that couldn't be fixed with shifting a few scenes here and there and trying desperately to make it make sense.
Well, that's basically what they mentioned in Quantumania. It's like they're not reading the script before it goes out. Like it's already, the director's done what they can do. And then, like the Marvels, like, I did what you told me to do. I did this, and now, it's all messed up. It's like, I can't do anything. I'm out. So,
I'm out.
With, like, She-Hulk was just, there was a lot of problems, I think. It's a better story that they just dropped the ball on. And, it needed to start as scripts versus anything blaming directors, VFX for any problems. That was scripts.
So you're going to love this part. A single episode of She-Hulk cost $25 million, and that dwarfed the budget of a final season episode of Game of Thrones. Can you imagine they spent that much money on She-Hulk
without one episode?
Knowing, huh?
On one episode.
One episode, $25 million each episode of She-Hulk. That's 8 episodes of She-Hulk.
That doesn't look right
there.
What
are they doing?
That's a lot of
things afterwards.
Anytime she transforms, Jennifer, I do not know her last name, Tiana. Every time she transforms, she gets special effects. Add in villain, titanium, abomination, special effects. Bring in Wong in there, special effects.
Bro, it wasn't good special effects. 25 million?
Yeah.
25 million, I'm sure the three of us could have came up with better special effects. $25 million an episode, man. On what? The sets weren't great. It was.
You had to bring in Megan Thee Stallion.
I think she was $20 million one episode.
Like you, what? I mean, the problem is, what if you were either one of you guys or anybody in the chat? If you were coming up with like, hey, we have to make this is good. We have to make this a good show, but we also have to make it budget conscious. But our main character is a Hulk. How do we do that?
The old way, get one of these muscular women that you see on Instagram, green her up, put a wig on her, and then have one scene you have old girl, the next scene you have the new She-Hulk. I mean, that's what they always did with the Hulk, right? He would fall behind something, and then you would see they would put a little shirt on him, and then you would just see his arms. Through. Right, start to rip out the shirt.
That's right. Because She-Hulk she's not
big.
She's not like 8 foot tall.
You know, it depends on who's
tall, but I'm saying she's not muscular. She's not bulging with muscles. She's got like kind of a slim build.
It depends on who's drawing her.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah,
yeah, but I'm saying for the most part, I mean, she's not crazy.
You didn't. Yeah, you're probably right. So like, it did not need to be so CGI intensive. Just a actress, put her in the role, everything you need.
You know what I mean? And you got tall, like I've seen tall 6'7" other women. They could have made Giganta or whoever the other girl. I mean, you could have done a whole bunch of different things, bro. What's my name? What's my man from American World from London? Rick Baker? Who's that? Who did the CG? Who did not the CGI, but the facial stuff for the werewolf?
You mean the makeup?
You got me.
Yeah. Huh.
So I mean, I think he's still alive. Like, yo, go make the transformation, man. It's not going to cost him $25 million to make a transformation. It's just senseless.
Do we ever really see her transform?
I don't know, but
we always kind of just it almost
they did like a off-camera kind of deal.
See, yeah. They don't have to pay Rick. It wouldn't cost $25 million an episode for Rick Baker to change a woman into a woman. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't think, I mean, hell, how much did it cost him to transfer Norton into a werewolf? Not, I'm sure it was way cheaper.
He's still alive, Chief, in case you were curious.
Yeah. So look, you don't have to go CGI. You could just do the transformation. It's just.
Did we ever think, Lou Ferrigno really doesn't look like Hulk? We bought him.
I don't really care. I just think that I think if you're spending $25 million an episode on She-Hulk, she needs to fight the legit Wrecking Crew, legit Titania. And that would have been awesome by default. Instead, they wanted to do this. Let's do a comedy superhero show, but botch the comedy and botch the superhero aspect of it, where it was just like, I don't know what's left. And that's what we got with She-Hulk. So it just failed on all levels. I still can't believe it's $25 million. That is crazy.
That's outrageous, bro.
That's 25 is somebody gets fired. Like, that's when you see the budget. At the end of the day, you see that budget, you're fired.
All right, so here's some more news because it was just a litany of things going on. Let's talk about Blade. Kevin Feige is pulling the plug on scripts and projects that aren't working, such as Blade. Mahershala Ali was signed on to play the role of Blade. Things look promising for a 2023 release date. The project has gone through at least 5 writers, 2 directors, and 1 shutdown 6 weeks before production. One person familiar with the script permutations says the story at one point morphed into a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. Blade was relegated to the 4th lead, a bizarre idea considering that the studio had 2-time Oscar winner Ali on board. And that's funny because it kind of seems like, well, that's what they did with Blade Trinity. Let's not make Blade the main character. That didn't work. I think that's everyone's least favorite Blade movie. And to repeat that doesn't seem like a great way to go. And now there's reports that Ali is ready to exit over the script issues. So Feige went back to the drawing board, hired Michael Green, Jason, you're gonna love this, the Oscar-nominated writer of Logan, to start again. The studio is looking to make the film, now slated for 2025, on a budget of less than $100 million. So She-Hulk is going to have a bigger budget than Blade. I mean, Blade's going to have a lesser budget than She-Hulk.
Okay, I know Logan was the one that, oh, this is the one that we can make the superhero genre more respectable. No, it's a Western and it sucked. Sorry, get over it. I talk about the movie. It sucked. So trying to bring Logan style directing to Blade. He's a vampire hunter. Like, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel on this. There's vampires in the Marvel Universe. Make him fight vampires. Like, this is why Marvel Studios is still in business, because Blade literally gave y'all money. Because they figured out how to make a dude who's a vampire hunter kill vampires. You don't have to, it's like, come up with your big bad. Come up with a reason why Blade is killing the vampires in random sad city, and you make a freaking movie. Like,
yeah,
this is not like, if you're talking about a budget, it's like, you don't technically need a super big budget for Blade. Just make it like as cool as Wesley Snipes, make a script, get some good actors, make some side, characters that he's cool with, so he doesn't have to right now throw every daggone Marvel character in and go.
Jace is heated up, Chief. What do you think about this
over there, man?
He's not on the fence on that one. He kicked the fence over.
No waffling here.
Yeah, but what he didn't know is the Montesi formula was already made, and there is no Blade. So all vampires got destroyed. You can thank Doctor Strange for that. So what we're gonna have to see is, that's why the budget's so small. They're not fighting on Earth. You know what I mean?
Like, Jeff, how quick was there was no HasLab for the Blade figures, but the Blade characters sold out pretty well on figures. Like, you don't have to really, it's like, hey, there's comic books.
Yeah,
right?
Blade is a really simple character. I'm shocked that they had 5 screenwriters for this. It's like you said, they could literally just follow up on the script cliffhanger stinger of the first movie. He's in Russia. He's killing vampires. I mean, it doesn't have to be that hard.
Oh, man. I heard that part 3 had a scene with a werewolf in it.
You can bring back, like, because I just watched Werewolf by Night. You can bring some of those characters. Like, it's not. I mean, it's like, that was a 50-minute movie. Cool. Like, just use some of those characters. You got seeds in there. Have Blade fight some of the random vampire hunters that aren't really vampire hunters. Like,
I like this guy. She's so messed up.
Is angry.
He really is.
It's one of those, like, when they miss layups, and then you're subjected to She-Hulk.
Bro, I'm gonna bring you a bag, a pillowcase, and fill it with soap, and we're gonna find one of these directors, producers, man. I'm just gonna let you take that soap-filled bag, get your anger out. I'm like, there he is.
Water in it, and just like, hey, y'all need to wash your mouth out with soap with this.
I'm gonna give you the private pile treatment.
Now here's the one that I mean, this plays into comic books, so I can't be but so mad. But I'm like, if this is true, they're really in a desperate situation. Sources say there have been talks to bring back the original gang for an Avengers movie. This would include reviving Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. What do you think? Let me just put that question out there. Would you be down for another Avengers movie with the original cast? And of course, that would create all kinds of issues because they've made a successor to Cap with Falcon. But I don't know, would anyone really care if we get the old gang back? Bring it back comic book style?
I'm good on
that. Okay, like, you have it a story that is between... what's our movie?
No, don't do that, because you'd have to do the de-aging technique. Now it costs money.
I mean, we got 25 million blowing She-Hulk. So what's that mean?
I don't know why they need to do anything. Just, they died. Moving on. Just bring better characters. Not like, you don't have to bring back the old characters. Make better new characters. Like, you know what I mean? We've been getting the lamest characters. Like they've just been picking people from Page Man, who can produce loosely from the air and throws it at you. Like it's just been stuff like, you know what I mean? And we've been like, yo, nobody asked for Page Man. Nobody wanted him. Nobody said, man, where's Page Man? So we've been just getting a lot of whack characters. You know what I mean?
That'd be the name of the movie.
Mickey Rose says maybe there will be Skrulls.
Again, that should have been your freaking Secret Invasion. It's like that was it. Oh, we're gonna have Rhodey be a Skrull, and then it's gonna make no damn sense of why he's a Skrull.
Just ignore it. I feel like that's the best way to take Secret Invasion. Just act like it didn't happen. Then we almost have it all, MCU. All right, so that is really interesting. Sources say Downey Jr.'s upfront salary for Iron Man 3 was around $25 million. So literally an episode of She-Hulk, and he's totally worth it.
No, I mean, like, but you, instead of going to that desperate drawing board, it's come up with a good script. Like we have a plot of movies to go through. Just go through them with better writers. And you, before we start doing anything, get everybody's team together and say, all right, does this go towards Secret Invasion? I mean, Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty? If not, like, what are we trying to do in Kang Dynasty here? Are we trying to have Kang win? Okay, then plant some seeds there. Go.
There's an X-Men movie that needs to hit, right? But they can literally follow the same plan as Avengers. They could easily have each X-Men have his own movie, origin movie, and then they all end up at out in Westchester at the house or whatever. I mean, there's literally a rack of X-Men that we can just go to and start a movie. They're good characters. Like, we don't have to go back to Avengers. I mean, people love Wolverine. You can have, I mean, there's a Cyclops. There's hell, people will go and watch, something with Beast in it. I don't understand.
No, I think those same people want to watch the Cyborg movie.
I mean, like, okay, so but you have Disney Plus. Just, I mean, again, I know I'm saying this like this is gonna be my third and not final time saying this. Do like Earth's Mightiest Hero. After they had their big team up, then they had solo episodes of this person's origin and why you should care about him. You have that in episode of X-Men Origins. Ignore that whole Wolverine Origins mess, and literally had it go your springboard into the X-Men movie. Like, it's not hard.
So we got Fantastic Four. We've got X-Men coming. There is excitement about Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman starring alongside Ryan Reynolds. And apparently that is going to navigate the gap, bringing the Fox universe into the MCU verse. There might be a ton of characters from the Fox films showing up. Maybe some of them will get bridged over. Maybe this is going to be like a Infinity War style movie that just so happens to have Deadpool and Wolverine up front, but it's going to be a whole smorgasbord of those other Fox movies. I don't know if that's the way to go either. I feel like they just need to cut bait on the Fox stuff because I don't feel like there are a lot of good Fox X-Men movies to begin with. I think clearly the Deadpool films are the best ones. Then there's two good X-Men, First Class and Days of Future Past.
Well, you can always bring back Rogue and have her give up her powers.
I mean, terrible. I think good is strong. Good is a strong word. They're two okay X-Men movies.
You don't like First Class?
Halfway decent.
You don't like First Class and Days of Future Past?
Let me tell you something, man. I didn't love any of those X-Men movies.
Oh, man.
Am I too close, Jace? I feel like sometimes I gotta get up on the camera and so you fully understand what I'm saying.
You've been
from here, but when I'm right here, I'm like, listen.
You look like your old boy in Tool Time and Home Improvement.
Oh man, listen, my man from on the other side of the fence. Yeah, I didn't enjoy any of them to any great degree. They were, yeah, and then they just, yeah, they're kind of garbage, man. I don't know what we're doing here.
I like how was it into Deadpool 2, where Deadpool has the, I guess, Cable's ability to shift through time. You can easily play around with that. He's still got that, and messes around and screws up and brings what you want of the X-Men Fox universe into Marvel MCU, and you probably should use it to get that whole Sinister Six stuff. So they're fighting Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
I'm just saying, bro. Like the possibilities in the X-Men universe are endless. There's thousands of characters, and we just keep focusing on. I mean, Blue Beetle, Booster
They're not
Gold.
focusing on Blue Beetle.
Like, what?
You know what I mean? Hat Man. You know, I don't know. It's just this is the stupidest characters that we've been forced to watch, and movies that no one, like I said, nobody's asked for. And they keep putting them out and shoving them into our faces, and then when they don't do well, they're like, we didn't see this coming. You did see it coming. You knew that it wasn't coming. You knew that nobody was going to go see this. You knew nobody asked for this. You knew when you first put it out, people were like, boo.
But I think their idea was nobody would have thought the Guardians would work, but it worked.
But Guardians got sucked into that world. If you could have put, at one point in time, you could have put anybody into that Avengers, Thor. They were all working from that same. They were all. What's my man? They were all eating from the same trough. You know what I mean? And you had, they were all the final fig leaf. They were all in that universe. So you could have put anybody you wanted to in that universe, and it would have worked as long as it was in the Avengers universe, that first tier. And they were a part of that universe, and they blended in with the rest of the people. So if you could have added extra characters if you wanted then, but you didn't. There could have been 5 or 6 spinoffs from the Avengers, from people that we saw that you introduced and maybe didn't have anything to do with it at the time. But you didn't bring that to us. So now you've basically killed that section of it. And then instead of coming with the second tier of still first class quality inputs, you've come with you've come with the C team, the D team. But there's still A's out there. There's still A's. I mean, hell, there could have been a Silver Surfer movie. What is that? There could have been a Silver Surfer movie. There could have been different things coming out that we could have all been like, yeah.
Silver Surfer, like Silver Surfer, Galactus, those are when you got to bring. You couldn't get them until you guys. You couldn't until you get Fantastic Four.
Listen, if you say Fantastic Four, I will get my car.
I know.
And I will kick your Wi-Fi right out of your basement. You hear me? I mean,
I'm not letting you in the door.
They'll be like, "What is that noise?" And that's gonna be me in my Timbs, not my black Timbs. I might even wear black Air Force Ones, so I mean business. And I'm coming over there and I'm kicking your Wi-Fi down.
Okay, please spare the Wi-Fi, please.
You know what I mean?
Right. You make it.
Fantastic Four has some of Marvel's best stories. They have been poorly executed in the movie realm, and really, if they wanted to devise a whole new saga, a phase, building it around the Fantastic Four and all the different characters that could stem from it, would work really well, because there's a ton. You mentioned Silver Surfer. They could do that. They could throw Namor in there. Doctor Doom, of course. I'm still trying to think who I would cast as Doctor Doom. Anybody could do it. We just need somebody who can bring the voice, like old boy from the Fantastic Four cartoons or Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They just need to watch those cartoons. That's how Doctor Doom should be portrayed. Just cool. I'm unbothered by any of you all. You're not on my level. And the only one who's kind of, sort of, if I really want to admit it, is Richards. But I'm not giving him that much credit.
Maybe Mephisto. That's it. Anybody else, man, get out of my way.
There's a ton of characters. They could do an easy trilogy of Fantastic Four. They could stem forward. Like, they could use the Fantastic Four as a bridge to an Annihilation saga, where You go from the Fantastic Four, you do a Silver Surfer spinoff. You've already introduced the Super Skrull, who's another character that will make more sense than what they did in Secret Invasion. Just here's everybody with every power. Just stick to the four members of Fantastic Four. Then you could go and do Annihilation with Annihilus running through the whole cosmos. Throw in Nova, a character who's really good, who would do really well as a featured star in his own film. And you can bring back Star-Lord without the Guardians because they weren't necessarily a team then. But you also have access to Groot. You've got Drax you could throw in. You could put in Rocket, all those characters if you wanted. Then you've got your whole next big saga. And you could also put in Captain Marvel and that as a character who would make sense in a galactic war like Annihilation. There's a ton of stuff they can do. And then with X-Men, there's so many storylines that would make a ton of sense. Let me see here. Mickey said, I love the X-Men so much that I don't ever want to see another Phoenix storyline until they can build up a storyline that will include the Shi'ar Empire. Yeah, I mean, that's what? 4 movies easily. You start off with them introducing a new team. You do some flashbacks with Scott reminiscing of Jean, Bobby, Warren, Hank, as he's speeding off with this new team of, I don't know who these guys are. I can't trust them, but Professor X says they're good, so I'll roll with them. You can start the movie off with Professor X recruiting this new class of X-Men. There's tons of ways to go. And then you finish it off by having the Phoenix Saga. You've got a ton of stuff.
Would you? I'm with Nick here. I don't want to see another Phoenix Saga. I don't want to see a third trilogy that is botched. I want to see something. There are plenty of other stories of X-Men that don't involve Phoenix Saga.
The Phoenix Saga, I think, is the easiest start point for them because they can build on everything. Establish Jean as a major character, establish the family bond of the team. That's when they first started getting popular in Marvel Comics. And then you can start introducing more characters like Rogue, like Gambit, Psylocke, transition into Mutant Massacre. That's a whole other thing. Establish Excalibur, branch off the spinoff. Hey, here's X Factor. There's a ton of movies, tons of franchises that they can go with, tons of films with trilogies, just like we saw with all the Avengers. I don't think they can get away with doing like a Cyclops, a Beast, maybe, of course, Wolverine, but not a Rogue or Gambit series. But they can use those X-Men teams to create trilogies of everything. X Factor trilogy, New Mutants trilogy. They've got all that in the bank because the X-Men, the mutants are more team focused than the Avengers with their solo adventures.
I mean, and if you keep the salaries low initially, you're not breaking the bank for one Robert Downey Jr. You have all these guys on parity, and you just, hey, we make movies, go to the next one. It's like why it made perfect sense for them trying to acquire those, the rights of Fox. It's like, we know there's a gold mine here. We just have to use it. Like you were saying, the Fantastic Four, please don't kick my Wi-Fi, has all the cosmic storylines. If you want to get to this, if you were trying to get to Secret Wars, you have to buy that property. And if you do it, there's at least 10 movies or properties. We got to use it.
And you can redeem She-Hulk and put her onto the Fantastic Four at the end of your third Fantastic Four movie, or in the Secret Wars crossover movie that you do. There's so much stuff they could do that is casual observers, super hardcore fans. It's like, why would Marvel Studios ever be in danger? You have so much still on the table to do. You could do New Warriors. You botched Thunderbolts. That's a wash. And Chief, what you're saying about who asked for this, I don't know who asked for this take on Thunderbolts. I don't need to see a spy-focused movie with Yelena leading a team, including Bucky, her daddy. I don't care about those characters. I'm not interested at all in them as a team. Are you?
Are they like C-level characters? I mean, like,
there's Bucky.
I mean, like, but there, like Chief was saying, there's a whole lot of A characters in Marvel. You just have to use them. It's like, just accept, like, oh, well, we already had this act. Doesn't matter. We need A-level. We have A-level characters that you mentioned at least 5 team movies you can get off the X-Men franchise.
And then, shoot, we could still do a Power Man and Iron Fist. Like, I think people would dig a Lethal Weapon style MCU film. You got your tall, big black guy, your martial arts white guy, and they're best friends. And it's like that shouldn't make sense, but it does. And you can just play up the whole thing of that, where it's like, hey, there's a culture clash, but they don't see it because they're just boys and they're fighting all kinds of wild and crazy characters. And then maybe throw in Sabretooth that way.
I think one of the bigger problems, MCU, is they need a comic book in that writer's retreat. They need a comic book person to help shepherd them. Like, hey, you guys did a very good job on phases 1 through 3. I mean, 1 through 4. But now you guys have gone astray. 1 through 3. But now you've gone astray. You need to come back to A level stuff, and we'll be printing money in no time.
We live in a real world. Come back to it. As Padme once said. So, Chief, what's your final take on this whole deal?
Like I said, I think they need to come out with better products. Like my man said, fanboys, they know, and really regular people are knowing. And nobody wants the product they're giving. It's almost like a non-alcoholic beer. Nobody asks for that. You know what I mean? It's like St. Pauli's Girl. I don't want to drink St. Pauli's Girl. I don't need a beer sitting on my lap with nothing, no content to it. And that's what we're getting from all these different platforms now. A whole bunch of bottles of beer, non-alcoholic beer that you just drink and it tastes nasty. And everybody's like, oh, I hate this taste. And then you see another truck pulling up with the same content. I think Marvel, DC will continue to lose money on these shows that people don't want to see. I think you have gotten people used to a certain quality. And if you know, like I know, once you're used to a certain thing, you can't go back to the old stuff. If you've been buying, a certain orange juice, Tropicana, you're not going to enjoy Giant orange juice or Publix orange juice. Depending on where you guys are from. So you guys have to go in there and get the orange juice you like. If you know what I mean? You can't go from Frosted Flakes to Safeway Frosted Flakes. It's not even Frosted Flakes from Safeway. I think it might be Corn Flakes.
Sugar Flakes.
Right. You can't do certain things. And they keep trying to force feed us these non-name brand items. And we don't want to eat them. We don't absolutely want to eat them. And they're mad because we're not buying them. It's sitting on the shelf. You guys missed out. No, we didn't miss out. We know what quality is. We know what we enjoyed. You guys have gave us such quality work, and now you think just because, okay, we've done it now, they'll eat anything. We're not Mikeys. We're not going to eat anything. We don't want the Life cereal box. We're not going in that.
He likes it.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get us to eat stuff that we know is not quality, and nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. I don't even know who saw Blue Beetle. Did you guys see Blue Beetle?
Not yet.
That comes on Max now.
I'm going.
That's my point. You didn't want Blue Beetle, so you didn't go see it. And then now they're like, why didn't you go see Blue Beetle? Because we didn't want it. We're not just like Marvel they're missing the point of these people, or the people who know about Marvel, or they've been reading these comic books. They've been following Marvel since they could read, follow along in pictures. And you gave them a good quality shows, and now you're just giving them whatever, and nobody wants that anymore. And you get upset because people won't take it. So you got to do better. Yeah, I drink Coca-Cola. Yeah, you drink Coca-Cola, but it's Coke. You're not drinking the store name brand. You're not drinking 7-Eleven cola. So that's the difference. So try 7-Eleven cherry cola and come back to me and tell me what you think, because that's what you're being force fed, and for the same price that you would get a cherry Coca-Cola. So it's not like we're seeing these movies and they are discounted. We're not seeing the discount. Like, oh well, look, we're gonna give you this 7-Eleven Coca-Cola for $2 less. No, sir. Same price as when you drink a cherry Coca-Cola.
Maybe even a little more.
Yeah. And now they want to pay. They say, well, look, we spent $25 million an episode to give you this product. Why don't you like it? Drink it. And we're like, no, it's crazy. I'm not buying that. So in order to get better, they're going to have to do better.
Say it, Chief. All right, well, fellas, it is that magical time. Who are your nominees for Dummies of the Week? Bro Shot, were you steadily pulling up some nominees just then?
I kind of was, yes. I forgot who my initially. I now remember who my dummy of the week is.
What you got?
All right, my dummy of the week is Mr. Joe Smith.
Poor Joe.
For all of you don't know, Joe did, he married a woman, but he kind of forgot, what her job was, before she was a singer. It had, had a lot of cameras, but maybe not the ones you always want to see. But life gets hard, and you make some bad financial decisions, and wife says, hey, we need to have some money coming in. You should have a conversation by him not having a conversation like, hey, what do you think we should do to get some more money in here? She takes it on herself to make sure the bills are paid. And, well, how she pays the bills? With some good money on OnlyFans. And Joe not knowing that and then getting caught on the live of her, hey, where's all this money come from? You got an OnlyFans. I need you to have a better conversation with your wife to make sure you know where the bills are coming from. And for not doing that and having to go viral of you being I didn't know this money was coming from OnlyFans. Joe Smith is my dummy of
the week. Hey, I like that. I mean, and she had that account for a year. He just found it.
So I couldn't help but notice there are more lights and cameras in here.
Man, bro, where's that ring light coming from?
You got to do better on who you marry, man. That is crazy.
Or just be more observant.
Yeah. More observant.
Blaze says, then when you say you don't like the soda, they call you a basement dwelling hater.
Right. Oh, cheap old soda.
Ryan says the Chicago Bears fired their running backs coach. Hopefully they confiscated his facility keys so they don't get robbed like they did after they fired the defensive coordinator. Afton says Disney fans in Disney are mad at South Park. That's my dummy. Okay. Yeah. And 80s Kid says the True Target's going out of business. No. No. Absolutely no, for no other reason than I'm doing my darnest to keep them in business.
You best believe Best Buy is headed that way.
Best Buy? Yeah. If you were short of stock next year, go ahead and short Best Buy.
My man got his Targets, yeah.
Target box just got delivered.
Got like 30 pairs of socks in your feet gonna be feeling good.
It's not socks. Yeah. So I'm kind of debating between my two dummies of the week. I guess my first choice would be the Raiders for thinking this season was going to be so different. And, they put all this money behind Jimmy G, not really considering that Jimmy tends to get hurt at least twice a season, or he's on IR a lot of times. But I do like this tidbit from Fran Dreicher. She is the SAG-AFTRA president. She posted on her Instagram page, did a little video, prepping, going to work, applying makeup, and putting on sunglasses as she walks out the door. And she goes, I just want you to know that I feel a sense of strength, not anger, and I feel a sense of optimism, not negativity. I don't have to emulate male energy to lead.
To do what?
To lead.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out why you have to emulate male energy.
Why do we have to get involved?
That's
you got your lipstick or you got your keys.
Because everybody tries to act like there's only one way to do things.
So, man. I don't understand that. I grabbed my wallet and I grabbed my car keys. And I don't have to emulate female energy to crash the car on the road.
My God.
I'm just saying. Leave the men alone. We ain't done nothing to
That's our female relationship right there.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, they're always attacking us. We didn't do anything, man. Gosh dang, baby. Let us live.
Can we live? All right, Chief.
Yeah.
Who's your nominee?
Hopefully we get some new movies soon.
Listen, you guys already know. Let's just say together. Those in the chat, those here with me doing this lovely podcast together. You already know, man. We are at home, which is also the Jets' home, but we're the home team, I believe, this week, and then we go against the Jets. Tyrod Taylor, who is the most I'm gonna get hurtness person I've ever met. This dude is hurt every time he comes in from the backup position. This dude goes out hurt. The Giants have no backup after Tyrod. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at you guys. You know. They have no backup after Tyrod except for Tommy DeVito, who exactly Tommy DeVito, cousin to
That's
Ben
actually his
DeVito.
name, isn't it?
It is. They were making fun of it.
The dude is so, to me, unprepared. They don't even let him pass the ball. Right? Exactly. The blade joint. Yeah, trying to skate uphill. So they don't even let him pass the ball. So we're just running the ball at this point. We have a kicker who we've let on the field this time, but the kicker's hurt. So he's just missing field goals left and right.
That's typically how they miss them.
Slicing. And I'm like, yo, why did you bring a hurt field goal kicker out here? So now we've got a quarterback who's not a quarterback, because we could have just shotgunned it to Saquon if all we was going to do was run it. Then we've got a kicker who won't kick, who can't kick. Then in overtime, right? So we're winning the game. We let them come back, kick the field goal for overtime, right? Because our field goal kicker would have ended that had he. So field goal kicker's hurt. Field goal kicker's hurt. 4th and 1. They don't let Saquon run it. They said, let's put it in the hands of the field goal kicker. He shanks it. Okay. So now Jets come down.
Can't you just put in your punter and have him kick? Or would that make sense?
Bro, I don't know. Overtime starts. They kick the ball. Overtime starts. Our defense has been kicking butt all day. We want the ball. I said, what? What do you mean we want the ball? We don't want the ball. We want to punt it to them, put the defense on the field, and pin them deep. Not the New York Giants. No, sir. We want the ball because we don't have an offense that can move anywhere. So now, bro, when I tell you, and we lose this game. We lose this game 13-10.
Yeah.
And man, sometimes nothing is more embarrassing than being a Giants fan. And I've had some embarrassing moments, man. I remember one time I was play fighting with a woman and she playfully hit me in my stomach and I pooed it. And I remember just standing there like, you know, I didn't even know it like that yet. We were just like, and I'm like,
that's wow. Better later. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, so
I was curious.
Yeah, man. So
I think that'd be a no-go at any point.
If I'm not gonna lie to you, this is actually being recorded, so people are gonna.
Let me tell you something, bro. I'm 48. At this point, I don't even care. You know what I mean? Listen, I don't look cool for anybody. I don't even want to think I'm cool, man. You know, I'm all right with how people view me, man. It's okay. I'm gonna get up in the morning. I'm gonna grab my car keys in my wallet, and I'm not gonna. Let me tell you. So, you know, it is what it is, man. But yeah. So the Giants once again have failed me. They failed you, and you know, hey, this is all I gotta say, fellas. Hey, I hope your team is doing better, and I hope you're able to hold your head up high as you walk through the hallways of your job or your situation. Because some of us aren't. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, but at least you got Chase Young for a 3rd round, which I couldn't understand why. Never mind. Listen, you guys have a great one.
All I'll have this season is that we beat the Giants and the Cowboys.
You did beat the Giants,
yeah,
but listen, we could have got a high school team to beat the Giants at this point. So that's no big feat. That's like me saying I saw a toddler and I whooped up on him. Hey, little boy. You know,
15
it's
seconds,
not
huh?
at this point. It's no challenge.
Gotcha. All right, well, fellas, thank you as always for rolling. Thank you all out there in the chat. Snake Eyes 80s Kid, James Green, Jamelin, Afton, Stickman, Blake, Tarpley, Ryan Daly. I think that's everybody. James Green, Mickey Rowe. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Don't forget tomorrow I will be back on talking all kinds of action figure news and stuff on Loud's Figure Files. But for now, this episode of Loud's Movie Files has been filed.